If you're not making the breakthroughs that you want, if you're not growing at the pace you know you are capable of, it's because you're not choosing the right next step. It's because you need a guide. You need a clear path. And you have to commit to that path until you get results. Hello, and welcome to The Joy Within, where we're eliminating negativity one thought at a time. I'm Kyle Greenfield, and I'll be your guide as we explore how to be calm, confident, and happy in our crazy modern world. Join us each week as we dive into some of the biggest ideas in spirituality and personal development. We'll learn what it takes to gain control of your own mind, master your mood, and navigate the many ups and downs along the way. Visit thejoywithin.org to get started so you can become the calm, confident, and happy person you truly deserve to be. Hello, and welcome back to the Joy Within's podcast. Before we get started today, I just want to say that if you've been listening for a while and like what you hear, do me a quick favor and share this with a few people that you care about. Whether that's a social media post, a text, an email, or just in passing conversation, it's up to you. We are in the midst of crazy times, and a lot of people are really struggling. Whether they feel stressed or uncertain about the world or are just a bit down from all of the negativity that's in the news each day. And I really believe that having resources like this podcast can go a long way to help. So know that if listening to this helps you, it will help your family and friends as well. And I know that a lot of times it's tough to talk about stress and negativity with other people. So sharing a link can be a really great way to help someone without feeling like you're imposing on them or calling them out in any way. You can just send them the link and say, "Hey, I was just listening to this the other day and I thought you'd really like it." Simple. It only takes 10 seconds, and it might be just what that person needs to hear. Anyway, for today's episode, I want to talk about one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make on their personal development and inner spiritual journeys, which comes down to knowing the right next step to take at each point along your journey. I think a lot of people, and I've definitely been guilty of this myself over the years, think that because we're talking about inner growth, it's a path that you have to walk alone. And that's okay. Going it alone isn't necessarily a problem, if that's what resonates with you. The problem is that when we do go it alone, we often think that we know the right next step, but in reality, we don't. So we wind up wasting a lot of time. We go around in circles, we feel stuck, or we just start to move down one path a little ways, but then we stop, we turn around, and we head off in a completely different direction. Often just before we make a breakthrough and start to see real progress. And we convince ourselves that the solution is just a little ways down this path, and then just a little ways down that path, only to be disappointed because we bounce around, when the reality is, if you were to just stick with any one path a little longer, you'd get results. To put this in perspective, I like to think back to earlier in my career when I worked in marketing consulting. And I would see companies do this all of the time. They'd go spend $1,000 on Facebook ads, and then they wouldn't get results. And when they didn't see the results they wanted, they'd switch gears, and they'd go launch a blog. So they'd write 10 posts for the blog, and then when that didn't work out, they'd give up, and they'd start a YouTube channel, and so on and so forth. And if you look at it from the outside in, it's really easy to say, well, did you really think that you'd solve your marketing problem with 10 blog posts? I mean, come on. Or did you really think that a $1,000 ad spend would move the needle for the company? Like, that's just not realistic. The answer is obviously no. But when you're in the middle of it, you can't see that. You can't see the forest for the trees. And the same thing happens when it comes to personal growth. I like to call it book bouncing, because I love to read, and I've been as guilty of this as anyone. So book bouncing is when you read a spiritual or a personal development book, and you love it. So as you're reading, you think, yes, this is it. This is spot on. There are so many great ideas here. This is exactly what I need right now, and it's wonderful. But then what happens? What do? You finish the book and you go put it back on the shelf and you start looking for your next book to read. You didn't take the time to internalize it. You didn't apply it. In other words, you read the book, but you didn't really listen to it. You didn't give it a chance to actually change your life. Or another way that this plays out for people is maybe you go on YouTube and you find a meditation to listen to. And it's nice, it's soothing, but it doesn't change your life. So tomorrow you're back looking for a new meditation to try. You don't stop to ask, did I really expect to overcome decades of resistant thoughts in only 10 minutes? Is that realistic? You never repeat the meditation. You never finish the 30-day series. You listen once and you move on. And there are many different forms that this same principle could take. It's the spiritual equivalent of shiny object syndrome. It's just like the business owner constantly switching marketing strategies. There's the illusion of trying things. There's the illusion of making progress. But in reality, you're not sticking with any one path long enough to see the results that you really want. Then you can't figure out why you're not making more progress. And this is the real trap, is that the more that you know about a subject, the worse this tendency gets. We all do this because we convince ourselves, oh, I've read dozens of books like that, so I already know what to do. Or, I've been trying to meditate for years, so I already know what I like. And maybe that's true, but if you're not making the breakthroughs that you want, if you're not growing at the pace you know you are capable of, it's because you're not choosing the right next step. It's because you need a guide. You need a clear path. And you have to commit to that path until you get results. It's not about taking just any next step. It's about knowing the right next step to take. That's why you need a guide. Someone who has already done it. Someone who knows the shortcuts and also the potential pitfalls. And most importantly, someone who can just keep you moving down the right path so you don't spin off in 1,000 different directions. And honestly, that's something that I really pride myself on with The Joy Within. I spend a lot of time making sure that our Happiness University students and our coaching clients are on the right path, making sure that they know the best next step to take at every single turn, the next step that is right for them, so that they can make meaningful progress really, really quickly. And for me, that's the most rewarding feedback that I can get, is when someone says, Kyle, I've been meditating for years, but it never really clicked until I followed these steps. And someone said this to me the other day. He said, Kyle, I've been studying my mind for 20 years, and I thought I knew what I was doing. But in the last 6 weeks with you, I've gone deeper than I ever imagined. Him saying that was really powerful for me. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I do this, so that you can shortcut the winding, decades-long route that I took and have a simple, direct path to become calm, confident, and happy. So if you need that, if you've been book bouncing, if you've been jumping around from one thing to the next, chasing greener pastures, going around in circles, or even if you're just ready to go deeper than you ever have before, then head over to thejoywithin.org. Sign up for Happiness University. It's free to get started, so you have plenty of time to poke around and see if it's right for you. But whatever you do, just decide and commit. Stick to one path for a while. That's really the only way that you're ever going to get the results that you want. And I think you'll find that once you make that decision, once you commit to seeing it through, you'll start seeing results faster than you might imagine. Thanks for listening to today's episode. When you're ready to put these ideas to work in your own life, head over to thejoywithin.org and sign up for Happiness University. When you do, you'll have access to all of the tools and strategies you need to eliminate negative thoughts by tuning in to the Joy Within. You can follow a simple, step-by-step system to become the calm, confident, and happy person you deserve to be. Visit thejoywithin.org to get started today. And if you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love, because I think we can all use a little more joy in our crazy modern world.